my sense is sometimes with older characters or characters that are coming from a different generation than I, and there's sort of that common thread. And maybe that's sort of what we were talking about earlier with those cultural touchstones, right? Sort of those pieces of ourselves that are sort of threaded throughout the generations. Um, I think for me, the character of Arthur is messy and is somebody who is far from perfect in terms of being a parental figure. Um, but I think that one of the things that you need to do, I think, as a writer, and this is true for anyone who's listening to this and is wanting to explore their own writing, is you have to sort of let go of your fear and your reservation about jumping into the skin of your characters, right? And really trying to take on the way that they see the world and the way that they maneuver through it, whether or not you agree with it or not, right? And I think that's one of the things that for me, I know as a writer, is something you're always struggling with your characters, is that you know your characters might be doing something that's wrong or that's not good for them, and as the writer you feel kind of paternal around them, right? Like, oh, don't do this because this is going to only lead to heartache or whatever. But you can't kind of write a story like that. Like, you have to let your characters kind of go off and live their own lives, and all you can kind of do is sort of help to shepherd them through that, and hopefully they come out on the other side in a much better place. But at the same time, you can't kind of exercise any control over those characters, even though you might not, you know that what they're doing is really damaging to the people around them. So that's something for younger writers who are maybe exploring their characters and trying to develop characters that are often complex or complicated, excuse me, is that sometimes you just have to let those characters be who they are and not try to make any judgment calls as the writer about how they're being represented on the page. So for me, that's one of the lessons that I've tried to incorporate into my own writing, is just to not be too protective of my characters and hope that they get to where they need to go by the end of it, but also acknowledging that life is messy and people are messy, and so are books, right? At the end of the day, like, even though you're in control of the book, you don't want to write a messy book because nobody wants to read that, because then you completely lost control over it. But at the same time, you have to be authentic, right? Like, you don't want to package something up in a way that doesn't seem authentic or real to readers either, because readers will not connect to that work if they suspect that what you're doing is not an authentic representation of how you think, these characters would behave in the world. I don't know if that answered the question, but I okay.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose for me, like Stephen is in many ways like the mentor I wish I had growing up. And I did have, I was very lucky to have teachers in high school who, were very supportive. And my English teacher was the first person I came out to. And I had another teacher who showed me, queer films like Paris is Burning and The Times of Harvey Milk. But, I didn't have a Stephen, someone who was that involved and who took me under his wing. And so I guess there was an element of wish fulfillment in writing him, especially because the book is told from the perspectives of the three teens, all of whom really worship Stephen. Um, he was in a way my chance to write the role model I wish I had, and also the role model that I want other people to see on the page, because I feel like so many people are scared of queer mentors, queer teachers, queer parents, whatever it is, like to show people how important it is to have that role model in your life. And also the Jimmy character as well. And I suppose for me, the interesting part about writing adult characters was also um, finding the balance in writing the teenagers' actual parents, who are at varying degrees of acceptance with, sexuality and activism, and writing them in a real way. Some of them have a lot of, phobias to work through, but, trying to show that they're still good, loving parents going together. Specifically in the case of Reza's parents and Judy's mom, who are pretty big parts of the book. So I think with adult characters, it's it was really interesting to just write the gamut of acceptance.